Hey, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm here, Coach Jay, and I can't wait to talk to you about this week's segment. And thank you again for joining us at Journey Junction. Yep, this is the podcast or video pass that you're seeing now or hearing, where we talk about ideals and concepts that we have found over time that help us to identify with some of the struggling issues that we face. And we're starting off with self-identity. You know, many of us have not found who we really are. I know it's kind of strange when you look at the years and the time that you have spent in life. You really haven't established your own self-identity. And that means who you really stand for, what makes you you, and why you think in the way you think, and why you react to things that you do. See, the problem is, if I can be truthful with you, many of us are still living on the concept or the ideologies of our parents, our friends, our cousins, or other people that we think have been successful or who have achieved what we're trying to get. We have based our mind and our thoughts off in how they went back to achieve what they have become or what the ideals that they have for us to become in our journey for success or our way of living. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's the choices that you make to follow it. Sometimes we're trying to live other people's dreams, so therefore we start losing who we actually are because their dream becomes our new reality. And in other words, you're bringing a false reality into manifestation. You're giving power over to it. And then when things doesn't go the way that you expect it to go, you start getting mad, you start getting upset, and then you bring up the F word, failure. Because that's how you see it, because you never took the time to build the foundation of what you're going to be seeking while trying to achieve the goals and objective that's going to help you become what you envision you to be. And it's sad because a lot of times we live up to these expectations of other individuals, and somewhere through our life we have a harsh reality that their ideologies and their concepts and principles are not our own. And we begin to drift and we begin to get frustrated, we begin to get aggravated, and with that we begin to slowly take steps backwards where we fall into anxieties or depressions or just giving up altogether. And we want to stop that. And I believe the only way you can stop that is by doing a self-reflection, self-evaluation of yourself. Look back 4 or 5 steps, or take 4 or 5 steps backwards and look at how you got to where you are now. How many of those steps that you take were your own, or were they guided by someone else? Now, let me put a disclaimer there. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting wise counseling and some steering in your relationship, because if not, you wouldn't be here now hearing me talk to you. But I should just be a voice of reason, a voice of concern, or a voice of change. But I should not be the driving force for why you're doing what you're doing. Together, collectively, we should come together with some ideologies to work out and some principles that will help us establish our goals, our settings, and our expectations. And even down to the task that is going to take us to achieve this. But as you and I working together, or you and whoever you seek as wise counseling, coming together collectively for the one thing, and that is for your greatest achievement. The problem that I do see in many cases where I'm talking to individuals, they're at a place where their thoughts and their end goals is still based off in what somebody's vision for their life has been. Now, I want y'all to understand, I'm not going against any parental figure or any person of authority who has spoken over your life and kind of guiding you through your life. But I am speaking against it if it never gives you the opportunity to make the choices for yourself. I know as parents during kids, we try to steer them in a direction to kind of set goals and objectives for themselves to achieve. But I think it's a little far to the left or far to the right when we begin to try to get them to live out the dreams that we once had. Mama wanted to be a dentist. Daddy wanted to be a doctor. And they're forcing me to choose between one or the other because we always had dentists as doctors in our family, so we want to keep on the legacy. Well, that's good for mom and dad if they did or did not achieve that objective, but it may not be so good for you. You should be able to go to your parents or whomever and say, you know what, I don't feel the dentist, I don't feel the medical practice, I feel more of A, B, C, D. And then have that conversation. Because in some cases, you may not feel it at the time when they're bringing it to you, but it may be something that is embedded in you that will come together later on. But you should have the conversation with the individuals who are implementing or strongly suggesting that you follow a certain pathway. You should be able to speak up. And I know in some cases it's hard, but you should be able to tell anyone that your ideals are this, this, this. And even if they don't agree with it, at least be able to voice it, because that means you're starting to stand on your own identity. You're starting to strengthen and fortify who you are because you're making decisions for yourself. You're making comments for yourself. Now, we can go on and on and on about having these conversations about what we could or should do, but that's not here nor there if I can't get you to understand there is a reason for you to establish yourself. There's a reason to become self-aware, become self-efficient. There's a reason why not to just see yourself as another person in the midst of millions. You want to see yourself as your own self in there. You know, and believe it or not, you all, that's challenging for a lot of people, because their whole life has always been based on other people's expectation. And then maybe something happened in their life and changes had to come. Now they're faced with the difficult problems of facing that they have never made decisions of themselves, or they really don't know what they really want in life. And it's kind of sad, after all these years you went by traveling, doing this and this and that, and it's always been on other people's expectations and goals and objective. Now you've met or have not met them, and now you feel like you're a complete failure, or you could feel like you've wasted so many years living somebody else's dreams. It's okay. If that's the case, let's fix that. And that's why I'm here now to talk to you about that. How do we fix these issues once we have come aware that we have given authority over to these ideologies, these concepts, and these principles of others? It's when you realize that you've come to a place where your decisions have not been your own, and you want to do something about it. The best thing to do about it is tap yourself on the back and do your little clapping and give yourself the praise. You know why? Because you finally realize that this whole lifetime practice has come to an end, and now I'm ready to take authority and make the decisions that's needed for me as I go forth with the remainder of my life. And if you still struggle with that, this is why I'm here. OneMovementLLC.com is a performance and business consulting industry where it deals with business owners and things of that nature who are struggling with making some wise decisions when it comes to their business and how to go to the next level. But more than anything, we deal with performance as a whole, from down to athletes trying to maximize their potential. Individuals who are in these segues and can't understand how to put things together, but want to achieve goals but find themselves stagnated. Or people like you and I who have not identified who ourself, come awareness with our self-identity, that we're struggling, and we're finally to a place of admitting that we want some changes. Personal one-on-one coaches, where we come together and collectively think of ideas how to get you to a place of stability, where you now can take full control over your life and the actions that you make as you go forth in the remainder of your life, or your actions or your decision making. Although we have a broad areas of covering, but we do believe that everything ties back to your ability to perform. And this is why I created this format just for that, because I want y'all to understand you don't have to be in this war alone. You don't have to fight with yourself. You don't have to sit up there and be thinking something's wrong with you. All you need is someone to sit back and help you to look at things from different perspectives. I'm not sitting here and going to promise you that me or my team have all the answers to life, because we don't. But what we can do is have you to make realistic decisions based off in true facts and true data or true expectations or life experience that would help you to see things from maybe one different perspective, and that one different perspective may be the steering principle to help you to get back on the train and on the tracks and get to your next destination. I'm tired of people derailing off in their train because of the fact they get lost. So I'm here to help you. So this is Coach Jay. Yes, that's me. And I took this little time to talk to you about self-identity. We'll have more coming about as we go forth, and then we'll have our guests on soon. You'll hear their views on some of the things that they go through as they were readjusting to taking their place in life, where they was establishing who they are and what they are. I look forward to talking to you more. Hey, if you really want to hear more, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the bell, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Or you can always leave a comment by emailing me at james@onemovementllc.com. Again, james@onemovementllc.com, or visit the actual website, onemovementllc.com, and see everything that we have to offer. And while there, go ahead and click on the screen and take your free consultation where you can talk with me or the staff, and we can sit there and see if there's any way we can start the process of helping you to see things from a different perspective. Until we talk again, until we're able to sit there and dive a little deeper into establishing our self-identity, you take care of yourself. Remember, be proud of yourself, because you done already met a milestone. You realize a change is needed. Take care.